yang adults group ni they use 3 different methods. So one method adalah designation menggunakan panoramic atau OPG lah. Okay, so di sini saya terangkan juga di Malaysian scenario yang kaitan dengan legal age dan juga reconstructive profile in human identification. Sebab tadi ni kita akan cover 2 area ini. Satu untuk age estimation untuk human identification, and another statistical analysis daripada data yang sama akan jurus kepada menentukan legal age. Jadi legal subject who already in the soul level legal concept area who should responsible with the crime that they did. So and then I move on to elaborate on the third molar estimation methods that for especially for the specifically for the young adults. The reason why, because the
I think we have lost Dr. Fadli.
Gone. Dia ada dekat school or dekat dia punya house?
Nanti saya cuba confirm. Maybe we can start with Dr. Norma. Dr. Norma, you want to proceed first? I can see Dr. Norma. Oh, okay. Dr. Fadli dah masuk balik.
Boleh nampak lagi ke?
Dr. Fadli di rumah ke? Terputus tadi Dr. Fadli.
Kena share balik.
Boleh share balik Dr.
Okay. Sorry
tak apa.
Okay, are we good?
Okay, saya nampak.
Okay. Kan? Alright. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the interruption. The third molar, then I move on to elaborate on the third molar maturity index, I3M Camrys method.
The manuscript.
Manuscript. Tak ada, Dr. Fadli.
And this is one of the recent systematic reviews.
Manuscript tak ada.
Systematic reviews published in 2021.
Sorry Dr. Fadli, tak nampak ke apa ni? Okey, nampak dah. Baru nampak.
Putus lagi.
Sekarang baru nampak.
Alamak. Saya punya internet ni buat apa, ada Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so this is okay, thank you. So I have to move fast because and this is the one of the publication systematic reviews on this I3M Camrys method in various population, which in this paper is very important that they emphasize on the findings from this review shows that there's a wide range of accuracy in different populations for our own local people to make it valid. And this has been my gap statement that lead to this study. And so comparison to the previous published method, which use categories, I3M method is continuous data. So this can be used as complementary to the method that has been published for the same population. And so this is my aims. Therefore, the present study aim to formulate age estimation model and evaluate the accuracy of legal age in Northeast Malaysia population utilizing I3M method. So basically, as mentioned above, there are two prongs of analysis that or results that I'm looking for. So the method, basically, this is a cross-sectional study. Retrospectively, because of the availability of sample, basically under Mongoloids, Malay and Chinese.
Hilang pula dah, Dok.
Putus.
Terputus lagi.
Just move on. This is my sample size at the 10 age group. And then altogether 600 subjects, 300 female, 300 males. It has been stratified random sampling, so basically very good for further analysis. No issues in statistical analysis. The image is anonymized because we need to be blinded. And then the image was kept in the DICOM format. So there's no issue of loss of data. And also actually for each stratum, each group, there will be 30 OPGs for male and 30 OPGs for female. To be, the analysis is going to be stable in that sense. So these are the data that were collected, especially the chronological age. We subtract from the age, from the date of birth, and also when the X-ray was taken. So we keep this in the records. And this is the software that I use for the analysis, ImageJ. This is a free software available on the web. And it has been used by many publications. So I think no issue in terms of validity of the software. Okay, and then this is molecular maturity index. So this is of the landmarks and the picture. So the sum of A plus A, the opening, and based on Camry 2008, the methods. So statistical analysis, as I said, we have divided into 3 phases of analysis. The first and the index, I3M, with stepwise multiple linear regressions. This is some description about how the stepwise will be done, will be used from using impact t-test, the accuracy of predicted age with the true age for each age group. And the third part will be the legal age, where the cutoff point of whether the sample has already 18 years old, 18 years old older or less than 18 years old using logistic regression and ROC curve and to evaluate the accuracy of the prediction and also the cutoff point. They are all for each landmark. Okay, so just move on, Prof.
Okay.
The table 2, there are a lot of table actually. So this one is to show the sample distribution as age group 10 age group. Okay. Okay, and then this is multiple regression analysis, the results. Okay. So and also this is all multiple regression, and then this is the summary. Of course, this is present based on APA, what is important that need to be presented in the article. For multiple regression analysis, there are 7 tables. This is the prediction model from multiple linear regression, where the race and maturity has been selected. Sex is not significantly associated. Okay. So we got this reference number for Malays and Chinese, and the date is only 1 year apart. Okay, then I move on to some assumption using the multiple linear regression. This is a pet sample differences for each age group. So basically around 1 year, but of course there are few age group which is
Putus lagi.
Putus lagi. Saya dah inform data. Okay, Padri.
boleh nampak kan? Ke dah putus?
Ya.
Boleh nampak?
Mungkin Dr. Padli boleh terus kepada soalan yang untuk ditanya kepada Prof. Shahrul.
Okay. I just this is basically Prof. Kalau macam Prof first time lihat dan dengar, is there anything that you feel keliru ataupun nak tanya? I mean macam tak cukup emphasize on any parts of the section.
Okay, saya start
Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dr. Fadli, terima kasih. Your work is very impactful. It just need a few clarification lah, sebab you are submitting to Q2 tau.
Ya. Yeah.
Jadi biasanya kalau Q2 ni kita kena cerita lebih sikit, which means that you need to compare your work compared to the previous work done elsewhere.
Okay.
Okay, itu satu. And then number 2, you need to express the impactful tu. You see, when you do this teeth punya calibration apa semua ni untuk certain purpose, which has been done elsewhere. So the difference that you punya ni lebih sikit daripada mereka. Maybe because it is never been done in Malaysia. Ya tu kena tambah aspek tu. Because this is not my area, but I am assuming that you are the expert lah in this area, and then you need to tell the audience that this kind of thing has been done for the population of non-Mongoloid dekat Europe contohnya, you know, and then it has been showing similarities ke ataupun differences ke.
Ada dalam discussion. Dalam discussion.
Ada dalam discussion
Ada dalam discussion.
Okey, tak apa. Okey, itu nombor 2. And then nombor 3, saya tengok data tu China ada satu je.
China dia tak banyak. Dia tak ramai. Sebab my assumption masa saya buat sampling, peringkat awal saya buat sampling is actually my purpose is not to compare between the ethnic group. It is more on the Mongoloid. Cuma dalam regression analysis, when the analysis kita masukkan race, oleh sebab dia significant, but the regression will nullify the sample size yang tak sama tu. Jadi statistically dia okay lah basically.
Ya. Tak apa, tak masalah. Cumanya bila ada satu sahaja sampel daripada apa nama ni, bangsa, salah satu bangsa, apa nama ni, evaluator dia akan query.
Correct.
Dia akan query apa nama ni, the reason why apa nama ni hanya ada satu, kecuali kita explain in the first place. Kita explain kat dia bahawa we are apa nama ni, Chinese community in Kelantan is just 1% or less than 1%, and then apa nama ni, it has not been, tak deter, it's not deterring our significancy of the result, and then apa, Chinese is part of Mongoloid. Kena explain benda tu.
Okay. Thank you. Betul.
Lepas tu bilangan memang cukup dah. Saya nampak 300 memang banyak.
Sample size okay. Dari segi
sample size power. Sample size kira pakai formula ke ataupun
saya pakai crude. This is a crude method. Tapi so far my previous publication accepted lah.
Yalah, tak ada
This
issue.
is dia terima by hair 2010, 50 nisbah, the ratio is 50:1.
Yes.
Sebab saya nak pakai state-wise, the reason because saya pakai state-wise, therefore kalau tak pakai state-wise 20 dah cukup, 20:1. But since I'm using state-wise, that's why I push to 50:1.
Okay, tak ada masalah. Cantik dah tu. Boleh kita show apa ni, discussion tak? Your discussion.
Boleh. Yeah.
Software tu jangan lupa ya, Dr. Fadli letak apa nama ni, letak details.
Yang mana software mana?
Software yang the one that you use for analyzing.
Measurement. Analyzing. Ada. Dekat.
Tak apa, just a reminder je. Just you need to put more apa details.
Okay. Data analysis kan?
Ya. Saya just nak tengok discussion.
Saya kecilkan sikit kot, terlalu besar. Boleh nampak ke Prof Sharon kalau saya kecil sikit macam ni?
Tak nampak lagi.
Tak nampak?
Tak nampak.
Sekejap. Ni. This one Prof Sharon. Discussion.
Tak nampak tu.
Tak keluar. Okay, baru.
Okay, baru keluar. Dia slow sikit.
Okay, so this is the discussion. So I start my discussion recap semula, re-emphasize on the keperluan methods untuk young adults, and I compare with bone method dan menggunakan bone. So basically third molar or tooth development ni I re-emphasize balik lah the utility of the third molar, and then this is to justify the OPG, why OPG is relevant ataupun sesuai digunakan dalam study dan juga untuk application dalam forensic context. And then this is a bit about the anatomy of the third molars. Alah, putus lagi ya. Nampak dah? Boleh nampak?
Nampak.
Okay, this one
boleh.
Nampak. Okay. So this one is about this one is about the anatomy. Some background about the anatomy, why we use the lower molar. The upper molar, third molar is a bit difficult because a lot of superimpose, and therefore we use the third molar. Then ni baru start on our results lah. Then this is a discussion about our results, about this method, and also then this is our result. Then we start with discuss the reliability yang tinggi, so therefore it's not biased. Therefore our result is not biased, and our interpretation is acceptable, should be valid and acceptable. And then we move on to the the association that we found using the multiple linear regression analysis. And then we show how it is used. It is how we show to the reader how the model can be used. Okay, and then this one is a bit we talk about the co-founders. Macam contoh macam nutritional malnutrition so on that might atau that can influence the third molar tooth development. And then okay, this is about the previous publication on the models that they use where they separate the sex. So in our model, we have no problem with that. And even kalau model ni digunakan untuk forensic context pun, even without, kalau kita tak pasti jantina dan sebagainya, I emphasize here that this model still can be used. Okay lah, it still can be acceptable to be used. And this is a bit about the keperluan on scientific evidence in court where we need to have a sound legit, non-error rate and acceptable by scientific community. So this is basically the double standard, basically standard to be admissible in court. So therefore, that's why we provide the error rates in our results.
Okay, Dr. Fadli,
So
is there any
these are
statement?
all the prediction error that we discuss here. Then we highlight also our issues from our results that
Yeah, your statement regarding the same work that has been done in Malaysia.
Sorry, Prof.
Ada tak statement the same work that has been done in Malaysia?
Ada.
In Malaysia.
This one
sebab saya tengah cari, yang Malaysia punya.
Kita ada tulis ini. This is one of the first. So far as I know.
This is the first, Okay.
Until today.
Okay. So you need to express on that. You need to stress on that somewhere. Kalau boleh report dekat title tu.
Okay, so this is yang Malaysian punya. Okay.
Masukkan dalam title kalau boleh.
Saya ingat saya ada tu.
Biar dia nampak striking the importance of the work.
This one ada kat sini. Ke nak kena naik novelty ke? Novelty. Is it novelty? Sarung? You're suggesting something like that?
Bukan. Tak, maksud saya the same work that has been done in Malaysia dekat tempat lain. Sebab tujuan saya, kalaulah belum dibuat lagi ni, this approach to prove that identification can be done by this method. So this is the first one. I just nak suggest supaya masukkan juga benda ni first appearance ni dalam title supaya dia nampak striking. Sebab bila kita pergi kepada the most important thing for Q1 Q2 you have to be the first.
Okay.
Dia punya apa ya? Unwritten unwritten punya rules lah.
Alright.
If you are pioneering in this method or whatever approach that you are doing on solving the problem of whatever things, then you are getting more a chance of being accepted lah.
Right. Saya akan tambah sampai ini
letakkan dalam letakkan dalam tajuk tu sekali.
title Okay.
Cuba tengok conclusion. Did
Uh,
you cuba tengok conclusion.
Ada conclusion dia sikit je lah.
Ah,
Thus, we conclude that examination of the developmental stage of third molars using OPG automaton can be a useful tool for chronological age determination in the young adults as well as determination of legal age. So basically, this is what my aim lah. Two prongs aim.
Okay, and then you need to add in Malaysia ataupun in this region.
Okay. Ya, saya tak jumpa juga. Actually, Inggris sikit nanti saya check balik. Sama region. So this is a limitation and recommendation.
Saya ingat itu saja saya punya komen.
Okay, Prof. Thank you very much. InsyaAllah will do.
No, Dr. Fadli, cuba send for Q1 biar dia let the system kick it down.
Okay. Okay, terima kasih Prof.
Ya, sama.
We'll try. Okay. Terima kasih.
Baik.
Terima kasih Prof. Hakim, back to you. Terima kasih.
Okay. Terima kasih Dr. Fadli. Seterusnya Prof, kita boleh invite seterusnya Dr. Siti Aisyah. Dr. Siti Aisyah.
Terima kasih Cik Hakim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pak Syarul.
Boleh proceed Dr. Siti Aisyah?
Saya share
View. Okay.
Boleh nampak kan?
Boleh.
This is actually a part of my thesis, PhD thesis. And I'll go to this is the abstract. Actually, this manuscript is highlighting the works that I was done using a range of LED to look at the proliferation of epithelial cells. So the range between 400 and 830 nanometer wavelength of LED. It was constructed in the 96 web plate to deliver the light also in the epithelial cells, which is cultured in 96 web plate. The method, the experimental method are using MTTSA, BRGU, to look at the cell viability. So in the introduction, the first paragraph, it is about history of the low-level light therapy, the fundamental from the professor semester, and then how they started with laser, and then the LED has been introduced by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Also included the evidence and report of the successful of the low-level light therapy. So I'm highlighting the use of LED. A bit introduction about LED, why I prefer to use LED in the experiment. Oh. Boleh dengar saya ke?
Aisyah boleh dengar, but Prosharum cannot.
Oh, yeah.
Please speaking. You can see in the chat.
Prosharum,
Prosharum talking now, but we cannot hear.
oh, okay, Prosharum. So, sekejap. Okay, baik, Prof. And also include the reactive oxygen species in a brief explanation about reactive oxygen species.
Dengar ke?
Dengar, Prof.
Dengar, okey. Lepas ni standby, jangan pergi mana-mana. Lepas ni dia akan jadi balik, saya kena panggil pula. Saya rasa your test is only 3 tests, I think.
Yeah, Prof.
I'm afraid it's not enough for Q1, Q2. But it's okay. You just carry on and see how. Let the system put it down. Just carry on. It's okay.
Oh. Normally berapa method, Prof, untuk Q1 or Q2?
Q1, Q2, you have to put at least 5 or 7.
5 or 7.
I think this is your PhD kan? There must be something else you have done along the way during your PhD research ni.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just add everything in?
Okay, baik, Prof. I'll add another method that I use because this is only a part of the research actually.
Unless you want to produce like 2 Q3 paper, you know, or 2 Q4 papers.
Okay, maybe I consider Q3 lah. Q3 paper.
It's okay. You can just send and then let's see whether they put it down to the next level.
Baik, Prof.
Tak apa. Just carry on.
Okay.
So this is material and method, eh?
Yes. Okay. I start with the development of the LED, of the array of LED, and then the calibration of the LED before we start the experiment. So we check the wavelength because when we bought the LED and we check the wavelength is actually like minus plus minus the real wavelength. So we calibrated and then adjust the radiance to get the what we want of the to deliver all the light. And then we look at the how the LED deliver the light. Okay, so you can see in the result later.
And this LED got their own wavelength, each of one.
Yes, each of one.
Yeah.
we treat the human oral epithelial cells using the LED with the
is there any reason why you choose human oral epithelial cell?
Because the human oral epithelial cells is a model for the periodontitis in oral disease.
Okay, okay. You need to explain somewhere before you start your first paragraph. Human oral epithelial cell H400S was seeded to. You have to explain there. You have to add the reason why the cell was chosen.
Okay, Prof. Yeah. Then I proceed with MTT assay and the ADU assay. And I used ImageJ software to determine the cells after the staining with BRDU. And then also I performed a viable cell count using automated cell counter, which is like automated hemocytometer. And
your tests, they are all triplicates, huh?
yes, triplicates.
Okay. Did you mention anywhere?
I didn't mention anywhere, bro.
Then you have to add.
To put. Okay.
You need to add. Okay, carry on.
And also using this assay, I used to look at the level of reactive oxygen species after the irradiation, because the reactive oxygen species is one of the a factor involved in the periodontitis. So we want to look at whether the LED will decrease the production of the reactive oxygen species. So then started at statistical analysis by Tukey's post hoc test. So the result, this is the wavelength after we check the wavelength after we constructed the LED. So like here, the 450 LED, it should be 450, but when we measured, it was 445. So there are a bit differences of the LED compared to the actual wavelength of itself. And then this is the beam profile picture, which is like when we deliver the LED, it goes like this lah. The orange is the highest irradiance, and then the edge of the LED it's lowest irradiance.
Why didn't you explain a bit, these colorful things, the intensity of the red in the middle, what does it mean? So, I don't know, this is not my area, but if you put picture, you have to explain well.
Is it in the under the picture, Prof?
It's up to you. You have two choice. Either you put under the description of the figure, or you can explain in the discussion. It's not a problem. But you have to explain the intensity. You know, the you can see here the a lot of yellow rather than here you got red. Over here you got all red and middle. Okay, so you need to explain a bit now.
Baik, Prof.
Hmm.
Then this is the table actually represent the graph, the first graph. So the wavelength represents 400, 450, 500 to 525, 660, 740, 810, and 130 nanometer. So the radiant exposure is only 24 milliwatt per cm square. So it has been calibrated and adjusted to deliver only this value of exposure. This is the result of MTT, which is the A represent the 30 second of exposure, B 60, C 120, D 140, and E 480. There were 5 time points of duration for the irradiation. And the BRDU and cell count. So for the BRDU, I only proceed with the one time point 480 because from the MTT, the 660 nanometers the result for 660 is the best. So I proceed only one time point 480 for BRDU, and then also from the cell count, the 660 nanometer demonstrated the significantly for the cell proliferation. And for the ROS production, so for the ROS production, also I performed for the 5 time points. Three for the only one time point, but within different hours. One after 1 hour, 2 hours, and 4 hours.
You will have some problem because your standard deviation tu besar tu.
Besar.
But it's okay. You have to get ready with questions by the evaluator lah.
So the discussion I discussed compared to the other reported article for the respective wavelength. But they are using other different cell type.
They are using cancer cell lines or normal cell lines?
I have to check again, Prof.
Yeah, you have to check, and then you have to make sure it's the same lah, because you cannot compare something which is cancerous and normal. Yours is normal.
Mine is oral squamous cell, Prof. Oral squamous cell, cancer cell.
Kalau cancer, you cannot use. You cannot compare.
Okay,
You have to find the one that is also a normal cell. If possible, try to go for apa nama ni? Your apa ni? Keratinocyte apa? Your cell is what?
Cancer cells, oral squamous cell.
Oh, oral squamous cell. So cancer cell, yours.
Yes.
Okay, so the other, I thought normal cell. Can you check kat atas dekat material and methods? To human ni. Human oral epithelial cell culture growth. Human oral epithelial cell H40S.
H400.
You have to check.
It's oral squamous cell, Prof. So I have to mention here lah kan.
You have to mention. It's oral cancer. It's a cancerous. It's not normal. So the comparison also need to be cancerous. You cannot compare with normal.
Okay.
Baik, Prof.
Okay, carry on. Continue.
So here I have to compare my result with the also cancerous cells.
Yeah, because in the discussion you did mention about previous work by other people.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that the previous work by other people is also using cancerous cell lines.
Prof.
Okay, Dr. Aisyah.
Yes, Prof. The suitable reference until kira-kira from this year kata until bila yang the best tu?
Apa tu? I couldn't get it.
The reference that we use in the manuscript between when to when?
The earliest. If possible, try to avoid more than 5 years.
More than 5 years.
Kalau boleh lah, if possible, you avoid. But some people, some experiments, especially on certain very rare cases, sometimes go up to 10 years. So you just have to use it because it's very rare. But if it's a very common thing, a common method, then you have to make sure that it is not less than 5 years lah.
But most of my reference sebenarnya dah lama jugalah.
It's okay. That is what my way of interpreting Q1 Q2. But you know, some evaluators they just couldn't care less. They as long as you are presenting a good result, something that impactful, they will accept. Let them decide, you know, let the system decide. If possible, try to find within 5 years.
Yeah, baik, Prof.
Okay, anything else?
So the conclusion is I'll say LED radiation wavelength at the only one 660 promoted proliferation.
Okay. So which means that this LED irradiation at the wavelength of 660 nanometer can induce cancer development lah, something like that. Betul?
On
Okay. Buka aja.
we don't proceed with other
dalam folder.
experiment, Prof. That
I see.
I think I cannot say that it may promote for cancer. I can say that.
Okay. Just from this experiment lah, from what you
Yeah.
what you wrote here,
Yeah.
there is a proliferation in human cell.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just want to read out the weakness that you need to repair.
Okay, but
Okay. You didn't say anything about why you do the experiments. Why you are doing this?
why?
Why you are doing this experiment? Until the end, baru then I know. I just know that you did this experiment to find out what is the wavelength that can trigger proliferation of cells.
Oh, okay.
So these kind of things you need to say, you need to say earlier. You need to explain in as early as possible, because when you do experiment, people want to read, and when you read something which is not in your area, of course you want to see some keywords. That's why they have keywords. So this keyword we explain what are you actually want to deliver, want to tell people. So you need to mention in the introduction too, the good story of irradiation of wavelength or whatever that can create cell proliferation. Do you understand? Did you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Okay. So this is the first thing. The second thing is your the issue of 3 experiment tu je.
Experiment, okay.
Because if you are targeting high impact Q1, Q2, you need to have at least 5 or 7.
Experiment.
Experiment. Plus satu lagi gene of certain, marker of cancer or anything that you study dia punya gene expression guna flow cytometer. Some people they put real time. But most people, the most ultimate flow lah. Kalau ada result flow, then is very good. It's very good.
I don't have a flow cytometer result, but I've got RT-PCR actually.
It's okay. Add the RT-PCR just to explain whatever genes marker for cancerous that being showing up regulation or down regulation due to the irradiation.
Okay.
And then the third one, when I saw your graph too, can you show me your graph? You have a lot of graph. I think one of the graph, not this one, not this one, not this one. Yang ni. Yang ni the bar is going down. What does it mean? The bar is, way downward. So you need to explain why. And then you can see that your standard deviation too is somewhat big, So you have to either redo the experiment or explain. This standard deviation will become like this if something wrong in the experiment tu tau. Because when the reading is not barely the same, they have a lot of differences, so standard deviation will be big, which showed that your experiment, maybe the cell die first, some of the cell, part of the cells is being contaminated. So this kind of things explain that the experiment is not enough lah.
Prof, if lah kan, if because I'm highlighting the 660. Let's say I exclude the other experiments. I only include this like 660, 450. Is it okay, bro?
Okay, it's okay. Remove the one which is not.
Yeah.
Which is not which
good.
is showing weird.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and then that's it. And then I'm suggesting that can you go to the title? Okay, effect of low level light emitting diodes on human oral epithelial cell responses. Okay, now you have to put somewhere here to show that it's a cancerous.
Okay, baik.
Okay, that's all for your paper.
Okay. Terima kasih banyak Prof Sharom.
Thank you, thank you.
Cik Hakim. Cik Hakim. Cik Hakim. Ataupun kita proceed dengan Dr. Norma. Dr. Norma.
Proceed, Dr. Norma.
Dr. Norma. Dr. Norma.
Or anybody else that ready?
Dr. Shima atau Dr. Fatihah?
Boleh proceed tak dulu? Dr. Norma macam dia opening the mic. Maybe have problem with the microphone kot.
Okay, Dr. Shima, proceed.
Okay, Prof, saya Shima. Before I share my manuscript, I would like to share the comment from the editor that reject my paper. Prof, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this is the email from the clinical chemistry. This is a Q1 paper. They reject because she said that unfortunately your paper did not achieve a high enough priority score in comparison with other submissions to allow us to consider it further. So because of the rapid growth of the submission, and also they forced us to reduce the manuscript. Okay, that is one of the reason they reject the paper. Then I would like to share my paper. Okay, my title is MIR 30E 3P and MIR 5006 5P derived from salivary exosome as potential biomarker for periodontitis. Okay, this is the manuscript cover okay, this is abbreviations, this of human genes. Okay, this actually this study is a continuation from the profiling of microRNA. Profiling has been published in other journals. And then this is the validation and the selected microRNA that have been validated. Okay, so we use the real-time PCR using TaqMan, and then we also mimic the inflammation conditions in using the LPS from P. gingivalis, and the target gene we also access using the real-time PCR. And then this for the gene expression for target gene, we use the CyberGreen real-time PCR. Okay. So in this result, we found that significant replicable microRNA microarray result, which is we validate the microarray results and then use this as a positive result. And then and also the target gene also, they have seems like what we predict but some are not as what's supposed to be. So here we, of course, we discuss in the discussion. Okay. So, okay, Prof, and then I would like to share the result. Method, okay, method using RT, isolation exosome using ultracentrifugation, and also microRNA isolation using kits, real-time using TaqMan for the validation, and then in vitro study use target genes. Okay, then we mimic the conditions of the inflammations by transfection using chemical-based transfection of microRNA into the fibroblast, human gingival fibroblast cell. For the target genes, we use the CyberGram because because target is a not so difficult as the body fluids, which is why we use the TaqMan. Right, and then okay, the result actually this format is using different. Okay, this is the result. We hypothesize the conditions of inflammation and also the pathway involved by using this pathway. Okay, and then we also put in the bar graph for the result for validation. We mimic the conditions. Also, this is validation. Mimic and also validate the microRNA that express. Okay, this is also okay. Back to the manuscript. I think probably go to discussion. Mostly in this paper, we discussed that we successfully validate. Sorry, where is the discussion? We successfully validate, and also not all the target genes are same as the predicted. We predict with the software, and not all are as predicted. So we discuss here. Okay. For microRNA, we validate 4 microRNA. But for transfection mimic the in vitro, we only use 2 microRNA.
What are these mRNA do in the system?
Okay, we select of the 2 microRNA which is downregulated and upregulated. We found actually in vitro here we only just validate and then mimic the conditions. But the mechanism on this microRNA is still not yet valid, not revealed lagi, Prof. We just hypothesize that is involved use I show here may involve by toll-like receptor.
Itulah that is the reason why they didn't accept your manuscript, because you only produce the result on one side. You know, when normally when you want to prove something, you have to do 2 things. One is in vitro, but before that you have to do some in silico, because predicting or any microRNA that binds to whatever sites can be achieved by software as well. So what people normally do, they just do the in silico and then they compare with the result in vitro, and then choose the one that what we call parallel, you know, showing the same one. But you mentioned to me that this is actually a continuation of the previous project, which is already been published.
It's the same project, Prof, but the profiling published first.
Okay, so that one is there any way you can predict, you know, the microRNA
We predict when using the
regulated using software?
Using actually target scan predict the microRNA. Actually what we get from the profiling, we validate using the real time, and then the target microRNA, then we use the software to predict the target genes.
Okay, you did already. Okay.
I did, and then the target gene we did validate again using real time.
Okay.
Until that.
Okay.
And then mimic the condition, Prof. We also mimic the condition of inflammation in vitro, and then validate again with the real time.
Okay.
That's all lah, because but we still don't know the mechanism. Just says
is there any report as well, you know, previous work in other labs in Europe or US?
No report on this specific microRNA.
What about others mRNA? I mean microRNA?
My others have, but others have other microRNA. That's why we hypothesize that is follow the toll-like receptor pathway.
Okay. So now if you show your picture tadi, yang diagram. Very nice looking diagram you showed me. Yeah, this one. So which one is the right pathway that you are referring to?
Actually, this is the normal pathway for inflammation. Normal, the above, and then this one we hypothesize that this microRNA may involve of the same pathway, which is involve the downstream, and then involve the NF-kappa B, everything.
So inside this picture, where is the microRNA that involved? Here. Okay. Okay, but there is some you put a questionnaire. I mean, a question mark. You have a question mark there, so which you do not know what is actually happening. Yeah. Your voice, I cannot hear your voice.
Actually, we just validate the target gene of this microRNA.
Okay.
But how it's reduce the inflammation or increase the inflammation of the periodontitis disease, we don't know yet.
Yeah, so that is the reason why they are not accepting the manuscript. They want you to do functional assay. At least, you know, functional assay means you have to transfect your microRNA in a system.
Luciferase assay, right, Prof?
Yes.
Using the luciferase assay. That is
or either you
for the FRGS.
Betul. So but you submitted to Q1, kan?
Yeah.
You can always go to the Q2.
But for Q2, is it okay for the?
To me, it's okay. But if I were you, you know, if you are not too desperate for papers, You just wait for your luciferase experiment so that you can show really, you know, that your microRNA is actually doing the job.
Yeah, actually, I waiting for the approval if my FRGS approved for this year, so I can proceed for the functional assay.
Tak apalah. I mean, you can always do when you are ready. But submit this to Q2 lah.
But I need to submit it first.
Yeah,
Okay,
what we are buying time lah. I mean, you send to the Q2. If they reject, fine, it's okay. By the time they reject, also you can, you know, you got your FRGS and then you do some the actual needed experiments and then go back to Q1.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, whether send to
Okay,
and
okay, dah clear yang ni, and then can I see your apa ni?
the graph.
Discussion.
Discussion on the above. Okay.
Your discussion is mainly on the 2 microRNA je kan?
Yeah, because all the 4 one is only validation, bro, and then successfully validate only. The 2 yang kita ada buat the experiment on we mimic first and then we treat with the microRNA and then we put as a healing and also macam prevention, like we macam alternate lah. Go microRNA, express all the microRNA and then put inflammation.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let me try to help you to enhance your case. Because if you are mingling around with these 2 mRNA and also what is actually they are doing to the pathway, you cannot expand more, you know, because your result cordon your discussion. You understand what I mean? Because you didn't do many important experiments. So now what you can do, you try to enhance, go and check any other work that has been done that related to this microRNA, related to, you know, bigger picture of the cellular processes. Try to do that lah. I mean, when you enhance more, it will attract more issues, you know, that we at least put some weightage to your manuscript.
Look for other similar study lah, bro.
Similar study also can, but also maybe other, you know, cancer or you know other
disease.
Yeah, that related to your microRNA ni. Cubalah. I think that's all lah for this one.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay. I think that's all for this one, Dr. Shima.
To Dr. Norma, back to Dr. Norma kot. Dr. Norma, please proceed. Ada because oh, Dr. Norma have question. Next apa ya?
Okay, sorry.
Your voice.
Okay, kita boleh proceed pada
the next one, yeah.
Next one, Dr. Morgana. Sebab Dr. Karyati dia ada Viva, kita boleh proceed dengan Dr. Morgana.
Okay.
Okay, Prof.
Good morning, Dr. Morgana.
Morning,
yeah,
bro.
How are you?
Good morning, bro. Fine. How are you, bro? Okay.
Good, as usual, yeah.
Okay, Prof. I just share my. It's not a research article. It's a review paper actually.
Okay, good. Is it related to any toxicology thing?
Not yet, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay, and okay, Prof. This is about molecular mechanism, but the topic is just a sensitive topic about the molecular mechanism of natural product against oral cancer. I plan to do narrative review, but eventually after so many rejection and so on, so I try to do some comprehensive, maybe plus with some systematic review. But thing is, okay, just a brief for you, Prof. It's the review is aimed to determine the mechanism of various plants and vegetables and fruits that have a chemotherapeutic agent against oral cancer cells. So first, for introduction, I just explain about a natural product and all about the conventional pharmaceutical treatment prevention, how it can treat arrays of diseases and so on. Then I go to some molecular part on a particular disease like neurological disease and cardiovascular disease and some of the phytochemicals that in a particular plants, and then I go for natural occurring compound, phytochemical compound. What is their mechanism, like the tumor cells growth inhibition, apoptosis induction, and DNA damages. Then I go for blocking agent, and then that's his introduction, actually, just introduction. Then I go for methodology about the study design and also sample criteria like inclusion and exclusion criteria. Then the research tools. Then I continue with the oral cancer because my specific cancer is oral cancer. So oral cancer, I just talk about the risk factor, the survival rate, and so on until I go into risk factor related to genetic variation of tumor suppressor gene and the defects and so on. What is the risk factor? Just a brief, like a cigarette smokes and so on, how it can alter the gene level and so on. Then I go for HPV. Then I talk about subtypes of oral cancer regarding on OSCC, oral squamous cell carcinoma, then leukoplakia and erythroplakia, and then I go for, since salivary gland cancer is part of oral cancer. So I just talk a little bit about histopathological type of OSCC. Then I talk about carcinogenesis complex process and also the development of oral cancer. And then about the treatment, multiple genetic events and treatments, oncogenes. Okay, I talk about oncogenes. Then I go for treatments. Then what it goes wrong with treatment, what is the long-term and short-term effect of the treatment, and how natural product can help into elevating the symptoms and so on. So the treatment's all about how it's become effective, but also have a side effect, because the purpose of this review is just to give some alternative for the established treatment through phytochemicals in natural products. And then I go for mechanism. Okay, the mechanism, I just touch on gonithalamine, the natural serial lectone, how it this mechanism through the depolarization of MMPs. Okay, and with schematic illustration of GNT mechanism of action in cancer cell. So how it instigate apoptosis and by directly effect on the DNA and DNA impairment. Then that's one of the mechanism. I go for potential discolor. The flavonoids, okay, how it's potential discolor, the illustration of mechanism of action. And then cranberry, anthocyanin, okay, it's inhibit MAPK and ERK pathway and cyclin B inhibition. So then flavonoids, okay, flavonoids, since anthocyanin is part of the flavonoids, so I just had some illustration on how schematic representation of mechanism of action of flavonoids by intrinsic apoptotic signaling pathway and extrinsic, okay, related to tumor necrosis factor. And then molecular mechanism for anti-carcinogenesis of polyphenols. Just now I talked about flavonoids, now it's polyphenols. And then I go into green tea. Okay, green tea, I move into epigallocatechin 3-gallet EGCG. Okay, the mechanism and how it affect molecular mechanism of action of EGCG and the suppression of NF-kappa B and also tumor biomarkers. Just a normal brief on what is geranine. Okay, this is a lily of valley. I just talk about the the phytochemicals and geranines. Okay, this is the mechanism of geranine, how it can reduce the expression of MMP2, phosphorylation, FAK, and mitogen, MAPK, and ERK1 and 2. And also, I go for safflower seeds. Okay, safflower seeds, it's about, it's a Mexico saffron. Okay, and how it, what is the mechanism of action? And before I go to the CD means coronarine D, which is from Hedysium coronarium or butterfly ginger. It's just a type of phytochemicals and how it goes into cell cycle arrest and so on. So this is the mechanism, and I go into the conclusion actually for regarding on what is the thorough mechanism. So what is lacking in my paper actually to get for Q1 and Q2? Hello.
Gone, eh?
Yes, Prof.
What happened?
Yes, Prof. I already into conclusion actually.
Okay. So have you have anything regarding the herbs? I mean, you explained a lot on the
Mechanism.
Mechanism, but on the herb punya details tak ada.
Okay.
Anything, yeah. Maybe you should enhance a bit on the varieties of herbs that you have studied. You know, it should be coming from the database lah, the one that you are using.
Okay, Prof.
And then make something like chatapai or anything like that, so that you can divide into section of kinds of herbs.
Okay.
I think you are referring to previous work. You have to have also the period of time.
Period of time.
You have to state in your in your either introduction or material and methods since 2000 until 2022. Since 1980.
Okay.
Yeah, so that people will see the things, the review confined to that period of years.
Okay, Prof.
But good review normally is, the longest. Diambil 1900. Zaman Francis Light. If you can find.
But if it's relevant, can I put like that, Prof? If it's too old, the review,
No, I mean,
yeah.
I mean in the intensity.
Intensity.
Depends, it depends on your purpose. Some people, if you go into the traditional Chinese medicine,
yes,
they have 100 years of history.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can go and find any traditional medicine for Chinese punya sinsei ni, what we call ubat sinsei.
Yes.
You can find the period of time is already started 100 years.
Yes.
And then they never change, and then except with improvement.
So it's still relevant to studies, for current studies.
Yes. So whatever things that people want to do, that will attract more people to cite your review. You know.
Yes.
So when you publish something, you want people to read and
Yes,
cite.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So,
It's okay. You can go and send to Q1. It's not a problem.
okay.
Try to find journals that discussing about phytochemistry. You know,
Phytochemistry.
yes, because you are doing herbal, kan?
Yes, Prof. Okay.
I think
Okay,
that's
Prof.
all. Your work is very straightforward.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much, Prof.
Okay, you're welcome. If you put COVID some more, the things is going to go higher.
Yes. Okay, Prof. That's a good suggestion. Okay.
Coronavirus ke?
Yes.
Or you can put RNA virus, which include influenza, corona.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Thank you so much, Prof.
Ya, terima kasih Dr. Morgana dan Prof. We like to move on to Dr. Fatihah.
Okay, Dr. Fatihah.
Fatihah.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay, let me share my presentation.
Fatihah, you are not a dentist, kan?
Oh no, I'm a basic science background, Prof.
Yes.
Okay, actually, boleh nampak ke, Prof?
Can.
Okay, actually, this paper, have done by my recent, ingoing research, master research student. So proposal dia, I think look up at the literature review because at the moment saya tak ada lagi data lah untuk publish in Q1 and Q2. We are ingoing research. So when looking at the literature review, she been write up a lot of information there. So I suggest to write into a review paper. Jadi samalah dengan Dr. Morgana, Prof. Kalau nak hantar ni, this is my first time lah to submit a review paper and try in Q1 or Q2 lah. So,
okay, good.
So this is the title. After few times I discussed with my co-researcher, Dr. Yati, Dr. Juan. So we come up with this title lah. But basically, we also don't have the experience whether this title is approachable or not for the Q1, Q2. Okay, this actually the advancement in nanoparticle-based wound dressing for bacterial detection and treatment. So basically in this review paper, we want to talk about the nanoparticle-based wound dressing lah for the wound healing. Okay, so we in this abstract, because macam ni, Prof, I have one of my collaboration, Dr. Fauzi from UKM, ada invite myself to join dia punya review paper which published in Q2. I think I have presented during the interview dulu. So when look at his manuscript too, I think that is where the idea also come up lah for me to try to publish in a review paper to try on Q1 and Q2. So but the work is different lah. So in my work here, I'm highlighting on the nanoparticles lah because the ongoing research ni memang I'm using silver nanoparticle kan for wound healing. So in this paper, we highlight on the nanoparticles for the bacterial detection and treatment, and then the objective is to focus on the most recent advancement in nanoparticle-based wound dressing for bacterial detection and treatment. So for the introduction, we talk a little bit about the wound. Cutaneous wound, about the skin, alright, and then this is the figure that we copyright again, and then I'm sorry, not to say copyright, we use from the reference lah, tapi of course we have to cite the paper that we use for the figure. Okay, so and then we talk a little bit about hydrogel. So a lot of there's a lot of type of hydrogel been incorporated with the nanoparticles for the use of the wound healing or wound dressing. And then saya bagikan kepada beberapa topic or sub title lah. So we start with the metal and metal oxide nanoparticle has a antibacterial agent in wound healing, and then we go a bit narrow. Specifically, we talk about silver nanoparticles. Then we go to the mechanism how this silver nanoparticle action acts as a antibacterial in terms of the mechanism action in wound healings. Okay, and then we go to the gold nanoparticles as well as the mechanism, and copper and zinc. All of these metals and metal oxide nanoparticle we provide with the mechanism lah in this manuscript. At last we just and then we go for the nanoparticle based smart wound dressing for detection and therapy, and this specifically we talk on the sub topic based on the bacteria and the treatment. So we start with the environment responsive wound dressing for bacteria therapy. Okay, and then for the point care detection and therapy for bacterial infection. Then we go to the nanoparticle delivery of therapeutic drugs for wound healing. So this come along with the growth factor, antibiotics, nucleic acid, and antioxidants. Okay, and the conclusion and future perspective. So when my students submit this manuscript, I saw it memang a lot of things still need to brush up lah for this manuscript. Tapi when Cik Hakim bagi tahu ada peluang untuk share dengan Prof on the Q1 Q2, so I just share this manuscript whether based on you punya based on Prof punya comment, is it approachable to go for the Q1 or Q2 or not. So actually my intention just to submit WOS or Scopper je Prof. So just to share here lah when I got this opportunity. So I think she put here around like almost how many? Almost like 97 of the reference lah. So this is the thing. I just need to ask a few questions juga lah. For the review paper ni, is it the percentage to be accepted compared to the research article lah. I mean the research article. And then what are the tips and tricks if we want to go for the Q1 and Q2 yang have a APC punya charges. And then what do we need to ensure our manuscript ni is less poll, means that less of lompang-lompang tu lah, I mean the whole contents. And then yeah, if this if we for the first time we submit the manuscript, the review manuscript, it been rejected. So what are the next step? Should we go for the Q3 or maybe Scopus or WS? I think that's all from me, Prof. Just to get from your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fatia. You already sent this and then being rejected, eh?
Not yet. Submit, Prof. This is the orang kata baru. I think the third revise from myself lah on the manuscript.
Okay. Now. Because you did not specify what kind of nanoparticle that you are looking. You know, nanoparticle is a very big range of things. You know, you have polymer, you have lipid base, you have silica gels, you have metal base. I think you were mentioning about metal.
Yes, metal and metal. Betul.
So if you want to make it like nanoparticle as a whole, then you have to add more. You have to add more. For example, a lipid base nanoparticle that people use for wound healing, if there are any, for example, or any polymer that people use for wound healing. And I saw the silica, your gels, the gels.
Yeah, hydrogel.
Metal you also put. but you don't have anything related to lipid and polymer.
Okay.
So you have hydrogels.
Yeah, only hydrogel je yang
Yes.
spesifik everything. Betul.
So try to check apa nama ni Professor Srimala Srikantan.
Okay.
Yeah, Prof Srimala did apa nama ni one of her expertise is on wound healing using nanoparticle, but I couldn't remember what kind of nanoparticle. And she hold IP on that. I couldn't remember patent or IP.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can check on that.
Okay.
And then you showed me one picture of bacteria that being invaded by silver nanoparticle. So I was wondering, why not you draw one bacteria like this, and then you put silver particle, okay, no problem, silver particle, and other nanoparticle as well.
Okay.
Okay. When I was doing my PhD dulu, I did a very nice picture of bacteria, and then I go to the journals and I check what are the chemicals that can burst the bacteria and how it can burst the bacteria. So I choose the journal lah. Oh, yang EDTA also, the EDTA, and then all the antibiotics. You know, antibiotic, you have streptomycin, you have chloramphenicol, you can, so many. And every single things too, they attack different area. So I put, you know, I draw the bacteria like this. EDTA attack here. Chloramphenicol attack here. Rifamycin attack here. Penicillin, streptomycin attack here. The same goes with this picture. You have this nice looking picture, but it's only silver. So if you can put others, you know, more than 5 or 6 with different colors, that will enhance people to read your review lah.
Ya, Prof nak tanya, is it maksudnya setiap mechanism, sebabkan I put a few nanoparticles macam silver and then gold pun we share. So is it maksud Prof satu saja the mechanism and we put all together nanoparticles ke macam mana Prof?
I mean, you know, when you are looking at bacteria, what nanoparticle do to the bacteria, you can confine into bacteria punya cell. But if you are looking for bacteria, I mean nanoparticle against cell cancer, you know, cancer cells, then you have to explain something else pula.
Betul.
You see? So if you put you know, the bacteria picture just now, you put nano silver, then you have to find other nanoparticles so that you are actually doing a review. Because your title is nanoparticle, it is not silver nanoparticle only.
Okay, faham Prof.
And then if you scroll down, there is you are mentioning about protein, DNA, nucleic acid.
The treatment, ya, betul Prof. The ophthalmic drugs for wound healing lah.
Yes. Okay. So when you are explaining ataupun you are reviewing about putting drugs into nanoparticle, there are many ways, you know. Some people they encapsulate. Some people they do linkaging. They use thiol activation. They use sulfhydryl punya bonds, and then they use a bond which is reversible. You introduce one chemical, they release. You introduce another chemical, they attach again. You know, so those kind of things you need to put under a topic you know, under one section, dia panggil active conjugation or linkaging of nanoparticle with the drug that related to wound healings.
Okay, okay.
And you can give suggestion. You know, you can give suggestion. You can make a table. For example, if you are using nano silver, what is the best method to put, you know, wound healing drugs to the nano silver? And then if you use nano silica, how, you know, how do you attach the drug into the nano silica? Okay.
Okay, okay, Prof.
I think that's about all. Your review looks okay. It's just that you need to enhance lah.
Okay.
Like my comment.
Okay, inshallah, Prof.
I used to publish one review when I was doing my postdoc dulu on in nanotechnology punya journal on the topic of conjugation je. You can find, you can type my name dekat Google, Shahrum Syamsuddin and nanomedicine.
Okay.
Boleh download yang tu dan tengok.
Boleh.
Yang tu I just list down on that time. It was 2012, I think. All the possible conjugation ways that you can use if you want to conjugate or linkage, make a link of your biomolecule. We call it biomolecule because we are using antibody. But if you are using drugs, then it would be something else lah. You see, so you can have a look, and then you can use that as the guidance lah.
Boleh. Yang tu review paper Prof? Yang Prof.
It was a review paper, yes.
Okay.
Okay, itu saja Dr. Fatia.
Okay. Terima kasih banyak Prof.
Ya, sama.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Okay, terima kasih Prof. Dr. AB, Dr. Fatihah. Dr. Norma, okay ke? Atau we can proceed to Dr. Manahi?
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Boleh dengar ke saya?
Dr. Norma ya? Dr. Norma, okay. Okay, proceed Dr. Norma. Boleh dengar?
Okay, we can proceed with the Dr. Manahi first. Yeah, we can proceed with Dr. Manahi first because I just finished patient. I just need to prepare. Alright, thank you.
So Dr. Manahi, please proceed with your presentation.
Can you please Grace proceed first?
Who will proceed, Dr. Norma or Dr. Manahi?
I think somebody need to text Dr. Manahi kot. I think she's just.
Yes, hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm so sorry, actually my screen is stuck. I was waiting, but just now I cannot share my screen for some reason. I've added, okay, wait. Just give me 2 minutes. I need to restart my Word document. Okay, so meanwhile, can I just explain about my study? I'm just waiting for the Word document to restart again. But can I just orally explain about my study?
Yeah,
okay. You can.
Okay, so Assalamualaikum, Doctor. Good morning, everyone. So basically, this study is not related to my PhD project, but this is a study that I conducted while I was working in Pakistan last year. And now it's actually a questionnaire-based qualitative study. And my target is to actually find out about a certain type of, I'm actually looking at perception of dental house officers. So basically dental house officers that have graduated and their study is complete and their clinical rotations in a specific department, which is the endodontics department, has been completed. And what I will be looking at is that by providing them a questionnaire of 15 questions, I want to evaluate their perception in regards to endodontic instrument fracture. So basically, endodontic instrument fractures are very small instruments that we are using for filing through the canals and, during RCT, mostly during root canal treatment. So this is a very common mishap that due to many factors, patient-related factors and operator-related factors, and also clinical factors related to the whole procedure, that a small instrument like an endodontic instrument can fracture inside the root canals while preparing them. So these things are not very common, but again, they are common, and especially they cause a fear and anxiety amongst new graduates who are stepping into clinics after their clinical rotations as dental house officers. So my study was conducted in 10 different colleges in Pakistan. We distributed a questionnaire. We randomly selected these 10 institutes by the by a lucky draw process, and then whatever institutes that we drew out during the lucky draw, we sent a questionnaire, a Google form questionnaire to those institutes. And after our actual sample size that we had in mind was with a dropout rate was almost 700 participants, but we successfully were able to secure 800 participants because of the more number of people that were available in the different institutes. Roughly, the number of people in the dental section of a medical and dental institute in Pakistan ranges from 60 students to 100 students. So based on that, the 10 institutes that we selected, we sent a questionnaire, which was again a new questionnaire that we introduced, me and my team, and we circulated that. Before the introduction, actually a few questions that I have, I'm so sorry, my manuscript is not opening up. I'm just going to restart my computer, and I'm actually attending right now from my telephone. So the the thing is that the main question that I have regarding this whole thing is about my methodology. This is my first time conducting a qualitative research, which is a survey, questionnaire-based research. So in terms of the methodology, my question is that how do I, because it's a new questionnaire that we're introducing and have to mention about validation as well. So my validation process was that we conducted, first there was a panel sitting of specialists specifically related to endodontics, and they all saw the questionnaire and they saw the like if the questions were valid, if there was anything that was not stated properly, or if there was something that was missing, or anything that was not clearly stated. So with their help, after revising with a panel of 4 people, 4 specialists in endodontics, we had our questionnaire ready, and then after that we had a small sample size for just to run a pilot study of 20 students that we conducted in the same university. And after our sample size, after our pilot study, we thought that the results were promising, and we proceeded with distributing the questionnaire amongst 10 institutes that we had randomly selected in Pakistan. So based on that, I will just briefly explain the factors that we were looking at. So patient-related factors, we were looking at age. As we know from previous literature, when aging, the canals in the permanent teeth, because again our population, we were looking at deciduous like primary teeth and permanent teeth. So we discussed these separately, but majority of the root canal mishaps that are taking place in which the files are broken down are in the permanent dentition, majority of them, like even from previous literature that we saw. So we compared, like in our questionnaire we gave the participants a choice. Like we know what the appropriate answers are according to literature, but we wanted to judge their perception that now they have graduated and they've completed their they have completed their rotations, clinical rotations. They have graduated after completing a comprehensive 4-year undergraduate program in dentistry. So we are now just checking their perception, that are they ready for the mishaps of endodontics or anything like that. So starting, just giving you a brief review of the questions that we had. According to the patient-related factors, we were looking at gender, that are these mishaps more common in male patients or female patients? Then we were looking at the factor of anxiety. Is the patient anxiety affecting this mishap? Like if a patient is more anxious while sitting on the dental chair, is it more common for a file fracture to take place in a patient who is more anxious? And then we were looking at gender, patient anxiety. These are the patient-related factors. Then coming to the anatomical related factors that obviously are not in our hands, like for example, if the root canal treatment is being done in primary teeth, is it being done in permanent teeth? And then we are looking at the anatomy of the roots in which it's being done. Are they straight roots? Are they curved? Which are affecting the fracture more? Then again, we're discussing about which third, because a root canal has three parts. It has an apical third, a middle third, and then an occlusal third. So we're looking at all of these things, and we're asking the participants questions to compare that what is their perception. Like again, I said, based on literature in my discussion, I have proved and provided this information that based on literature, what strategy or what feature or factor has more effect, what factor is actually playing a role in causing the instrument fracture. But then again, I'm also discussing side by side how what was the answer of what was the answer that majority of the participants in my study said was causing this. So according to this is like a study that my target was, the rationale behind this is that this will help the upcoming fresh dental graduates in understanding that what are the right options, what is the thing that they are supposed to expect while performing a root canal treatment, that this mishap may take place, and how I can avoid these, and how I should have a better understanding. Like for example, if a person thinks that the root fracture will occur more commonly in permanent dentition, so through our study they will find out that it will occur more commonly in permanent dentition of older patients like age groups ranging from 45 to 65 or 70 onwards. But a younger patient, like ranging from 30 to 20 or 20 to 35, this age group, you will see fractures, but they are less. So through this study, we're also educating yes, Prof.
Do you have any presentation so that we can see?
Yes, Prof, I have presentation, but I'm so sorry. I was waiting with the presentation. Just now when my turn came, my Word document is stuck. It's not opening. That's why I'm trying to explain my study orally. I have just restarted my PC, and I'm waiting for it to start again. But Prof, do you understand my concept?
It's okay. I can hear you. I can follow you. It's no problem. Your manuscript is it a review or is a paper?
No, Prof, it's an original study. This study, before I joined PhD under USM, I was working in Pakistan for a brief duration.
Okay.
So I collaborated with USM because this university in Pakistan where I was working is also they're also collaborating with USM for different events and different talks. Like they have a MOD or something like this. They have with USM. They have collaboration.
Okay.
So I conducted the study with my supervisors in Pakistan and my supervisors in USM.
Who is your supervisor here?
Dr. Tahir Yusuf Nurani from PPSG.
Okay. You are in the second year or first year?
I'm sorry, Prof. I'm in the first year. I just completed my first semester and starting my second semester, inshallah.
Okay. Okay. Your work. Are you a dentist?
Yes, Prof. Yes, I'm a dentist.
You are doing clinical master's program, yeah?
No, I'm not doing clinical master's program. I'm doing a research-based master's program. But Prof, this manuscript that I have prepared, this is not related to my PhD project. My PhD project is different. I'm still with my proposal right now. But because this manuscript is ready and I want to go for publishing this manuscript, so that's why I chose this manuscript to discuss with you for this meeting.
Okay. You were mentioning about 700 subjects, eh?
Yes, Prof.
Everything is already being established. You have already your, you know, your human ethics clearance, everything. You
Yes.
have the numbering, yeah?
Yes.
No problem.
Yes. It's
Okay.
already. I'm just supposed to send this paper for publication purposes. But this workshop, I wanted to get input from you if I can make my manuscript better. And you know, if you think that this is good enough for targeting for Q1 and Q2 level, because the one thing I'm sorry I forgot to mention, we have introduced this manuscript. Like we have questionnaire. This is a new questionnaire that we have introduced in our study, in our article. So this is the
You were mentioning about statistical methodology just now. You need to find a statistician who can verify your data and also your methods.
Okay.
I am not a statistician. You need to find somebody. I think every school they have a lecturer which is dedicated, just sitting down and doing statistical analysis.
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof. I know Dr. Dr. Arif, and I also know Dr. Basar from our school. So inshallah, I will contact one of them.
Yeah, you need to consult them regarding your statistical analysis.
Okay, got it.
Then you're reading something just now. Have you finished it?
No, I was actually just mentioning this part that I wanted to I wanted to ask you about the validation part of my study, because we are introducing something new and it's a novelty. We believe that there is novelty in this because we're introducing a new questionnaire that is that is specifically directed to dental house officers. In
Yes,
previous
your
studies,
validation will be completed after the statistician reviewed it.
Okay, I got it.
And then may I know what is the outcome of this experiment?
Yes, Prof. The outcome of our experiment is that majority of the participants know about their perception regarding instrument fracture is that they know they know the proper they know the factors that are playing a huge role in instrument fracture. This is the outcome. But then again, side by side, there is a minority of participants that are still unaware. They are not sure of how the factors are affecting or playing a role in instrument fracture. Like you can say that the ratio is 65% of the participants are well aware. They know that these are the factors that are playing a major role in instrument fracture. But then there is 35% that are standing in the middle. They are not sure. They don't know exactly. They are not you can say they are not prepared properly to handle a situation if they encounter something like this in their clinic. So
Okay,
this is
you
the
need to
outcome.
mention about this in your objective.
Okay.
Yeah, in your introduction, when you have your first introduction, you need to insert the what we call it, the possible outcome of your research, that how it can be used to help those who involved in the experiment.
Okay.
You need to be clear on that, yeah, so that when people read, the evaluator read, then they will say that your work is significant, novelty is there.
I understand, yes, of course. I just need to reword and properly mention it, emphasizing on this part. But Prof, do you think that this paper has potential to go for a Q1 and Q2 level journal?
Q1 and Q2 is a very simple mathematical. You know, if you are doing something novel and never been done elsewhere before, they will accept it, provided you are, you know, the method is very up to date, it is well-rounded, you know, with all the experiment needed, and then the explanation, and then the support from other previous research that has been done. You know, normally Q1 and Q2 is actually the work of like 2, 3, or 4 PhD students. You know, they just compile the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
And so,
okay.
Dr.
I mean, it's okay because it's your former work. You see, when you were in Pakistan, and then
Yeah.
you can always send, and then if you are lucky, then they will accept it. If not, then they will say that, you know, like in the previous case lah, they say that your manuscript is not enough, and then they politely decline so that you can go to the next. Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
I think that's about all about your experience, because you are mainly playing around with data, you know.
Yes, exactly. I have a
Yeah.
lot of data. Yeah, I have a lot of data, and from those data, I can construct I can construct a theory regarding the perception. So actually, what I'm discussing in this whole manuscript is perception. That what is the perception of newly graduated students who have completed their clinical rotations in the specific department of endodontics? Because my questionnaire, which I've distributed, is all related to instrument fracture in the root canal.
Yeah. And then you know, when you discuss with the statistician later, you show the your questionnaire.
Okay.
You show the questionnaire. Yeah. Let the you know, the professor, the statistical people validate your questionnaire, because questionnaire is also another issue. Some people, they prepare a questionnaire which is not equivalent to certain, you know, settings.
Criteria.
That they require.
I understand. Okay, Prof. Inshallah, I will get in touch with the statistician.
I think that's all for you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so
You're
much for your
welcome.
time.
Ada lagi ya, Dr. Halim? Encik Halim?
Yeah. Dr. Norma.
Okay, Dr. Norma.
Last.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Sorry for this inconvenience.
Biasalah, itu tengok gigi orang dulu kan.
Okay, let me share first, Prof.
Okay.
Okay. Is it everybody can see my sharing?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So actually, this manuscript is not fully done yet. It's I can say that it's about 80% completed, but I still working on this. So actually, this is my second manuscript for this project. Previously, January 2022, we already managed to publish in Q2 journal for this clinical trial. So this is the second manuscript from this project.
Okay, good news.
All right. So basically, this project a clinical trial. We are comparing the two methods in treating class 3 malocclusion patient. Okay, with the traditional face mask appliance and one more new modifications. I can call modifications appliance, which is we call active skeletonized suture distractor, which is we call ASSD later. Okay, so this is the introductions and the methods. Actually, for this, I still not decided which journal should I go for the publications, but we are targeting the orthodontic journal and a Q1 or Q2 journal as well.
Yes, correct.
Because
that is the place that you should send.
Yes. But I did not decide yet which journal that I need to decided lah. We stay on discussions regarding the journal. So because my manuscript is still not yet fully 100%.
If I were you, I will go to the Q1, and then if they reject, go to the Q2 that accepted your previous manuscript.
Okay. All right. I get what your point, Prof. Okay, we will try the Q1 first, then later if not, then we go for the because the previous manuscript was accepted and published in Applied Sciences. So maybe if the Q1 rejected, maybe I can try like what you advise. So basically this is a comparisons between the two appliances that we use in treating patients. So the modified new appliance that we use shows that it's more what we call it's more prominence in terms of the results compared to the previous classical appliance that we use in orthodontic patients lah, Prof. And this appliance, the results you can see faster in terms of the skeletal corrections, and this probably will prevent patient from orthodontic surgery in future during adulthood.
Okay.
All right. So this is an introduction. Basically, I just wrote regarding what is the treatments of the class 3, the classical, the treatment, the options to treat, and a little bit introductions regarding the ASSD appliance. Okay. Then the material and method, study design and populations, because basically we treated in USM at orthodontic patient, specialist orthodontic clinic, and basically this clinical trial involve 68 patients, but we have 14 patients drop out, leaving 26 in the ASSD appliance, and then participants in the face mask appliance. Okay, so the calculation of sample size analysis is done according to the sample size calculation software. Is it too fast, Prof?
No, it's okay.
All right. And then the method of sampling, the data collection procedure, we write in detail what we did for the data collections in order for us to get the data collections, and the fabrications of the ASSD appliance, because this is we modified the appliance from the previous appliance that we have. We just modified to ensure that it's suitable for our use, and modified according to the patient's need lah. And then the applications of the face mask, because this is we can see that face mask is a gold standard lah for us in orthodontic patients before this. In order for us to treat a child with a class 3 malocclusions. So actually we don't have the control group. We add the face mask as our control group because this is a gold standard treatment for that, Prof.
Okay.
So the analysis of the lateral spirometry, because this is where we get the data collections in order for us to compare the changes in terms of the skeletal after before treatments and after treatments, and assessment of the stability, because we also for the ASSD appliance we also incorporate the mini screw in order for the good encourage attachment. So we also assess the stability of that mini screw in that appliance as well. Okay, and this is the results result part, and the discussions also discuss regarding the result as well.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. And then so So I also write the we comparing the findings, then some problems that we face during the clinical trial. Okay, so this is the limitations lah, the limitations during our trial. And limitations of the studies, and then the conclusion, Prof. So like I said, it's not fully complete yet.
So still waiting for more result.
No. The result is already done, but in terms of the writing, I'm not
writing. Okay.
understand.
So you
yes,
are
yes,
still
writing.
Holding a few more sets of result, which is not being included in this discussion.
Not really. What I mean is that my in terms of the guidelines, I did not follow yet because I did not decide yet that which journal that should I go for the submissions. So that's what I mean that not 100% complete.
Okay. I do not see any problem with your manuscript. Everything is well defined, well spread, and also well explained. Maybe
Prof,
you should have some picture or anything.
Yes, Prof. That's what I want to ask you, because in the first manuscript that already published, we already I mean is that attach the photos and everything, right? So in terms of this the second manuscript, which is we would like to submit, what do you think, Prof? Is it we cannot use the same photos, right?
I'm not sure. You need to discuss with the committee member of the dental people whether what kind of picture that normally allowed to be used.
Okay, because in terms, let's say, for example, in terms of design, of course, I need to use the same photos, right? Because it's no changes. That's what I mean.
Oh, I see. So you cannot prove with the picture.
No. What I mean is that because the first manuscript already published, we already attached the same photos for the design.
Photos. Okay. So now I get it. So
and then in terms of the terrorism, we call that. Is it allowed to use the same photos?
No. You can do the citation.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. So means that I give the photos. Let's say figure 1 that I cited.
Yes.
Is from the applied sciences.
Yeah.
With the same authors.
Yes, with the same authors.
All right.
Normally people put bracket and then they say previous communication that they put.
Previous communications.
There are many ways. Some people they put some people they just cite their own.
Okay. Okay. All cite our own. Because I'm not sure about that. Because some photos maybe we read some. I mean that we will use the same like what already published. So I'm not sure how to, is it because I know that this it will make terrorism issues in the futures, right?
You normally people don't put twice the picture. People just do the citation, yeah.
All right. Okay. So because of course I need to show the design, the design appliance, right? So that the people who read the new manuscript, we understand and follow the design, and then for that studies lah. So this is my concern lah.
Okay. No problem. I do not see much problem with your manuscript. InsyaAllah boleh ni.
Okay. So has your suggestions that we submit to the Q1 first? If not, if rejected, then we submit to the Q2, which is the same journal which already accepted our publications before, right?
Yes, yes. Remember,
All right.
requirement for KPI untuk this year, they require you Q1, Q2.
Yes, Prof.
So if you couldn't get Q1, Q2 is enough.
Yeah, Prof. But but my problem is money, Prof.
I know. Q1 will cost you thousands, 14,000,
Yes.
15,000. That's why even
Yeah.
myself, I seldomly send to Q1, Q2 ni.
Sorry,
Because this
Now,
project,
RCMO, they have special grants.
Itulah nak tanya Prof juga tip and tricks for APC ni. Kalau kita masuk.
Betul Prof, yes.
Because the charge kalau tengok
Normally, the trick is very easy. You send to the pengarah RCMO or the TNCI asking the money, that just tell them that your work that has been accepted at Q1 and we need to pay 20,000 ringgit. And our grant only provided us 8,000.
Okay.
And just send the letter and see what are the reply.
Okay.
Prof, kiranya kalau KPI WOS Corpus ke tak dinilai ke macam tu ke maksudnya Prof?
Tak termasuk ke Prof?
It's no longer in the KPI.
Okay. How about WAS Prof?
WS, yes. ISI.
Yes.
Oh, WOS still acceptable lah Prof?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
because that's the main problem lah for me, because this grant, because I have grant for this project, but unfortunately already closed because of dah cukup masa kan, and then we already get to use the money from the grant for the first publications, but for the second manuscript, so we don't have any money lah to to support.
You can tutup lubang, gali lubang,
But because we know that the RCMO can just support 4,000 Prof for Q1.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You need to find first the journal which is giving you free.
Of course, Q1
which is
no free,
Q1
Prof.
free. That is first. Second, Q1 or Q2, which is just required to pay a bit. And then the last choice is Q1, Q2 that will find we will put a very high bill.
Okay. Ya, Encik Hakim, kita ada ke list Q1 or Q2 yang tak ada APC, Encik Hakim?
Kebanyakannya ada APC.
Yes, that.
Yes.
Sebab tu dia jadi Q1, Q2.
Yes.
And very expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Prof. Yeah, Prof Sharum, kalau macam, is it hospital cannot support for that?
Say again? Apa tu?
I mean that is it any others opportunity to get the support from hospital?
Oh, that one I don't think anybody can help.
Okay, all right.
Money now is an issue.
Yes, Prof.
So now, if you couldn't find any place to send, just go to the Q2, which the least charge. Or you can send to Q3 or Q4, but you have to have more lah. Kan dia kata Q1, Q2, 2 papers or something. If you change to Q3, Q4, it becoming 4.
Yes, Prof. But of course, we want to submit to Q1 and Q2 for the good quality papers, right?
Yes. But because the support lah,
but
it's a problem, yeah.
Yes, but the limitation is support money lah. That's the limitations lah currently.
That's why even myself, for the past few years, my publication is Science Malaysiana.
It costs about 1,500 ringgit, Prof.
Yes. But it's okay lah. Q4.
Yes, it's Q4.
You go to Q1, Q2, it will cost you 8,000, 9,000, you know, might as well you go and pay a
Yes, Prof.
student.
Betul, Prof. 10,000. 2 kali gaji, 2 bulan gaji.
Ah,
Yes.
Kami junior ni lagi lah, Prof.
ah.
Prof, nak tanya yang Q1, Q2 ni kalau untuk graduate student yang kalau kita ada student master ke PhD untuk publication dia orang nak hantar thesis pun Q1, Q2 and WOS ke yang tu tak melibatkan untuk yang tu?
No. They didn't specifically say yet.
Oh, okay.
They didn't say yet, and do not bring these issues.
Okay.
Nanti, you know, once they heard and then they make a compulsory.
Tak. Jadi saya tanya sebabnya risau juga.
Don't give ideas to those people.
No, this is between us. Please.
For the students, for the graduations is Scopus is accepted.
Betul Kak Norma.
Yes.
Masa ni orang kata dah nak sampai pertengahan tahun depan, risau juga nanti kalau yang ni risaunya.
So far, they just take any publication that Scopus and above.
Okay. Scopus and above.
Okay. Tapi yang KPI ni memang Q1, Q2 and WOS Prof? Memang dah di-apply kan lah
Say again?
KPI for KPI's academic staff memang dah Q1, Q2 and WOS
ISI, WS saja.
Okay. Maksudnya memang dah di-apply lah masa yang Datuk PC datang tu memang.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you try, try your best, try to help to the utmost. I mean, when you publish in Q1, Q2, you see, try to help to the utmost means first author, second author, you can put asterisk and then you can say down there, share first authorship. And then corresponding author, you give to your postdoc, for example, to help her to get some KPI, because you see the requirement for postdoc, they had to produce 3 publication in a year in WS. Q1, Q2, it has to be one of them must be Q1, Q2. You understand what I mean?
Maksudnya dua corresponding author punya ni lah Prof kan?
That's why I'm you need to check with the journal whether they allow or not to have a sharing co-authorship satu, and secondly sharing the corresponding authorship.
Okay.
Like in my case, my Q1, Q2, I always go for shared authorship because it's try to get the utmost.
Prof, maksudnya yang first author dengan second author tu asterisk.
You put asterisk, star, and then you put below there, these 2 authors shared first authorship.
Then untuk corresponding author tu star juga ke macam mana Prof?
That's why I'm asking you to ask the journal. Some journal they do not allow. Some journal they allow.
Okay.
So try to the utmost. Try to help people. Because now you can only have if one paper if they allow co-authorship and first authorship. First apa dia panggil? First co-authorship dengan co-correspondent authorship. You are helping 3 people, including you. Because now for KPI, they do not concern about publication anymore. They concern about first authorship or corresponding author je sekarang. Now. Especially if you are going for Prof Madya, you know, promotion, Prof Madya, professor, they will ask you whether, you know, whether you are the first author or corresponding author.
Baik, Prof. Terima kasih, Prof, for the tips.
Plan. When you not publish plan, Encik Abdul Hakim pernah tolong.
Okay. Betul, Prof. Betul.
Okay, anything else? I need to prepare for Majlis Hospital pula.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you
Prof,
very
for your
much.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your time.
Banyak, Prof.
Yes.
Terima kasih semua ya. Okay ya.
Thank you,
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Salam.
Terima kasih, Cik Hakim.
Terima kasih, Cik
Thank you,
Hakim.
Cik Hakim. Thank you, Encik Hakim.
Sama.
Cik Hakim nak tanya. Yang apa tu? Memang kita tak, kalau saya pun tak pernah lah jumpa yang Q1, Q2 tak ada APC kan?
Itulah baru nak tanya juga sama kat tu.
Dia, Dr. Norma, actually kalau no APC, dia punya publication tu akan ambil masa lama sebenarnya, Dr. Norma.
Okay.
Dia, okay, based on my experience, I've got one Q1 journal, tapi dia tak ada APC. Journal of Food and Agricultural Science Code. But it took almost 1 year plus for me to publish betul-betul.
Oh, okay.
But
for the sciences journal kan, basic science or clinical journal kan, memang I tak pernah lagi lah come across with the Q1 and Q2 with no APC lah.
No, jarang. I think tak pernah.
Sekarang semua dah memaham.
Macam tadi Dr. Mugana cakap yang agriculture kan?
Yes, food and agriculture. Yang tu pun I heard that if you want to expedite the publication, dia minta duit juga. I think 2,500 USD.
Oh, lagi mahal juga lah.
Lagi mahal. It's reaching.
2,500 Malaysia ke?
Bukan. Kalau macam tu pun at least kita boleh fikir sikit. This one. Yeah, that's why.
Alright.
Okay.
Kalau boleh bantu kita Cik Hakim list out the Q1, Q2 paper yang
I think the list will be very short, I guess, in Cik Hakim.
Yeah, I think so.
Ya, Cik Hakim, please lah kalau ada
paling pun WOS pun tak apa Cik Hakim.
Tak tahu nak cari macam mana. Nak search macam mana.
Cuma WOS ni yang saya tahu ada a few publication pun paling tinggi kalau ringgit Malaysia pun tak lebih 2,000 lah kat rumah.
Yes. Tapi Encik Hakim, that's a very big work because you have to go through each of the journal punya site tau. Baru boleh dapat. Okay.
Ya, kalau Cik Hakim tolong kita lagi senang lah kan to decide kan.
Yes.
Tapi kalau nak collaboration tu payah juga. Means that memang kena cari apa, nak tak nak pun dia orang akan like myself join the Q2 tu, dia tak minta lah half of the payment, tapi they expected from my publication nanti to put that in. Cuma yang tu dia ada geran nak bayar kita ni.
Okay, nama hopefully all will be okay.
Yelah, betul-betul.
Terima kasih Anggula.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hakim. Okay.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.